Well, we might be days or weeks away from an indictment in Georgia, but already Donald Trump is trying to get his witness tampering in before the indictment drops. Today, he posted on Truth Social, "I am reading reports that failed former Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Geoff Duncan, will be testifying before the Fulton County grand jury. He shouldn't. I barely know him, but he was, right from the beginning of this witch hunt, a nasty disaster for those looking into the election fraud that took place in Georgia. He refused having a special session to find out what went on, became very unpopular with Republicans, I refused to endorse him, and fought the truth all the way. A loser. He went to FNCNN. Now, FNCNN, of course, is Fake News CNN, which Duncan did go to. Let's watch this interview where he responds to Donald Trump's remarks.
Geoff Duncan. We're also joined by former federal prosecutor Renato Mariotti. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. Geoff, I want to start with you and get your reaction to that social media post by Donald Trump. He's insulting you and calling you out. Do you believe he's trying to intimidate you as a witness?
Well, this close into my testimony, which is going to be tomorrow, I'm going to refrain from any comment with the exception of saying, which was just pointed out, he did misspell my name.
And how about what you are anticipating you'll be asked about tomorrow? If you won't comment on what Trump said, can you at least give us an idea of what you're anticipating?
Well, I'm just going to answer the questions as presented to me, much like I did in the special grand jury. Whatever the questions are, to the best of my ability, I'm going to answer the questions. And, you know, this is an important part of the healing process for the Republican Party. This is painful. This may feel ugly to some, but this is part of this process, right? We've got to put these facts and figures and details and reality on display for America, specifically for Republicans to see what reality really is. And, you know, the social media game that Donald Trump has played over the years, it's shallow, right? You don't have to be any more than a few hundred characters worth of information with no facts behind it, with no details to stir the crowd. And that's certainly been his game for a number of years, and it looks like it's continuing.
Notable that you are not the only person he has gone after on social media. He's also targeted a number of other officials involved in these investigations.
So imagine you, Donald Trump, you're about to get indicted in Georgia. You really want Geoff Duncan to listen to you. And Geoff Duncan's response is, "You can't spell, we gotta heal from you." Essentially, you're dumb and you're a cancer. That is not the reaction Donald Trump was expecting. Geoff Duncan, Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, is not afraid of Donald Trump. This makes Donald Trump look so weak and so powerless. The fact that he has to just simply try to tamper with witnesses shows how guilty he is. And the fact that the witnesses respond by telling him he can't spell their name shows he's pretty powerless. And that, you know, this game, this scheme of tampering with witnesses, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? You can only do it so much before they start saying, "Look, you're pathetic. You're pathetic." So this was a beautiful response. It wasn't anything too intense. It was just simply, I'm going to go and I'm going to answer the questions that the grand jury has about, you know, Donald Trump's perfect phone call with the Secretary of State, the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, in which Donald Trump begged for Raffensperger to find him the 11,000 some odd votes that would give him the Georgia victory. It is not looking good for Donald Trump. He looks so weak, and I am here for it. This Georgia thing is wild. Whenever we're going to get this indictment, it is a story that would be enormous if it weren't Donald Trump. But because Donald Trump just had Jack Smith indict him in D.C. For essentially scheming to overthrow the federal election with these fake electors, you know, this Georgia story just pales in comparison to that. But if this were to be alone, this would be a mind-blowing story. And it just goes to show you how much of a criminal Donald Trump is, that we have what would be an enormous story simply look like nothing because we've all been become pretty numb to these indictments. But this is huge. Georgia is huge. There is going to be a lot of drama coming from Georgia. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different lawyers and people involved in the scheme to basically try to overturn the Georgia election. You have Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani throwing these lawyers under the bus, who these lawyers were now we have proof that they were sharing emails trying to get people to hack into the voting systems, which CNN just dropped a bombshell report on yesterday. I will link that below, because that is a really amazing read about the attempt to not only breach the voting systems in Georgia, but also Nevada and Michigan. And Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani led that. So we'll see if the Georgia indictment is going to involve that scheme, or if it will be the just focused on the phone call with the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, with the key witness, Geoff Duncan, right here testifying against Donald Trump, who he basically told today to go to hell, and that he can't spell, and that he's weak. So Donald Trump not having a good day, and I am all for it. If you are too, and you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so that you can get the YouTube videos in your inbox. If you're ever on Facebook, be sure to follow the page. And on both sites, you guys can like the videos, and be sure to check out tomorrow's video. My name is Brendan Plank with Reflect here on Facebook and YouTube, and I will see you in the next one.